Okay, so now let's pick up a little bit from where we left off. We're actually on over here. We had imported, or excuse me, we had created this first file. We've gone ahead and made it to into step 5 to just to come to ensure all the contents here were visible. Again, what we refer to as best fit. And again, there's several ways you can do this. In actuality, what I've found is that it's probably better to do these one at a time. I've tried this several times and just trying to click on it by choosing all of them like this. And my experience here is that, and I don't know why, but sometimes it doesn't seem to do what you might want to do. So, in this case here, I'm going to go ahead and double check here. We'll go ahead and again use my little French cross here and click on each one of these items here, just like we did in Excel. Okay, so now we have this information here, and so at this point, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to close this personal information file. Now you'll see here that it still exists, but do I want to save the changes? Yes, I do, and you always have to do that. So now I'm going on over here to step 6. On step 6, where we're going here is to click on the external data to import an Excel file. And this is not exactly where they tell you it is. So in this case, instead of you'd think external data over here, you actually want to go over here to your new data source. So if you click here on your new data source, and you're going to take this information from a file. As I said before, they didn't tell you before that that's what you're doing, but in this case we are. And in this case, it's going to be an Excel file. And so we're going to come on over here. We're going to face this area here. Now I'm going to go ahead and pull this from my downloads because of course we downloaded this Excel file earlier. So again, we're browse here, and for my downloads, here is again this account.xlx. And so I'm going to go ahead and click it in here. We're going to go ahead and we're going to keep this, import the source data into new table in the current database. Now, if I want to add this to something that's already in the database, I could go ahead and choose append, and I could choose the database or choose the table that I wanted it to be in. Or if I wanted to link the table in here to an outside data source, say a stock market or something like that, I would just go ahead and click here. But in this case, we're just going to go ahead and do this. Okay, so now we see here that we have a sheet here called sheet 1. It has all this information in it. Okay, now and the nice thing about this is that somebody already put this into an Excel database, so we don't have to go ahead and click it or excuse me, enter it in again. So in this case here, we're going to go ahead and they said here you want to make sure that the first row here has the account number, account name, and so forth. And this is going to be important a little bit later on in what we're going to do here. So we're going to go ahead and click next. And then we're going to come over here to first row contains headings. So this is going to take this area here out of the database per se, but it's going to give us names of specific fields. Okay, and so we'll go ahead and click on next. And again, you can go ahead and go through all these here. We're going to go ahead and we're going to choose our own primary key here, and we're going to choose account number, and there it is there. And we're going to import the table as account info. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to copy that word over here, but let's go next. And where it says import to table sheet 1, I'm going to go ahead and put in here account info, and then we're going to go ahead. No, we don't need to save our import steps. So now let's see what we have here. Look at this, personal information. There's what we typed in, account information. Isn't that beautiful? All that's the stuff that we didn't have to type in here. Now in each one of these cases here, if you take a look at this, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to highlight these and make them into best fit just so I can see this a little bit better. And we'll simply go from here. Now in this case here, We're at step 7. The account table is still created. We're going to create, this part here. We've actually done this. We have done our 2 main parts. That is the 2 hardest parts of our database. So now, instead of what we are doing on over here, we've got the account info selected. We're going to start asking questions of it. Now, these questions are going to be called queries. So we're going to create a simple query using the account number, account name, account manager number. So what we're going to do here, we're going to create what type of query? What are we going to do? We're going to do a query, and we're going to use the query wizard. Okay, and using query wizard, we're going to make a simple query. Boom. And in this case over here, account info table still done. So we're going to do account number, highlight that, move it over, account name, move that over, and account manager number, which is down here at the very bottom, and move that over. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and click his next, and we're going to go ahead and accept the default name of account info query. There it is, along with the other defaults. So we'll finish here. And so now you see we've got this account info query here according to this tab. And what this does is it tells us all the account numbers, the account names, and the account managers that are actually in there. So now that we've done that, we're going to go ahead and move down here to step 9. We're going to modify the account info query by selecting the design view. So in this case here, we're going to do what I had been doing before and how I showed you to do this a little bit before. We're going to right click over here and come here into design view. And in this case here, do you want to, well, let's go ahead and do this. Let's go ahead and close all these down. You want to save the changes, and that's the reason why. So in this case here, so modify the account query by selecting design view. So now it's going to be a little bit different on over here, and enter the criteria 35 into the account manager number column. So, and this is a criteria. So what we want to do is we want to search out every item over here that has the account manager number. So we've got that running here, and having run this, we're going to go ahead here and pop over here to this area here, and we're going to go ahead and run. So here, these are all the account manager numbers for number 35. Okay, and close. They say do not save the results. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just close this. You want to save the changes to the design of the query account info query, and in this case here, we'll just go ahead and actually we're going to say yes here. So now we've got that. We're going to go ahead and select our account info table again, and we're going to create a basic form. So here we have account info table. Come over here, we're going to create, and from here, we're going to go ahead and we're going to create a form. And by doing this, this is your basic form. Okay. And we're going to save it as week 5 account info and close. So what I'm actually doing here that you're not seeing me do on here is I'm going ahead and making a save, or excuse me, I'm copying stuff over from another page. So in this case here, we want to go ahead and click on File. We're going to go ahead and Save As. And in this case here, we're going to actually save this object as here. Okay. So in this case over here, basic form, week 5, account info, and close. So in this case here, we're going to go ahead and call this week 5. WK5 account info, boom, and then we're going to go ahead and close this. Oops, I misspelled this, didn't I? So let me close this down again. And I'm going to have to go ahead here and I'm going to have to rename this. Now, it's very important that you get everything in a database exactly right, so there can be no errors. Remember, of course, the term garbage in, garbage out. So using the account info table here, we're now on number 11. We're going to create a basic report. Okay, we're going to save the new report as week 5 account info report. So account info table, we're going to go ahead and again, we've got this. We're going to create, in this case here, a basic report. So what is it that we're going to create? We're going to make over here, and this is going to be a report here. And you'll see that this is the way that it's going to look. Say the new format is week 5, account info and close. So in this case over here, we're going to go ahead and save this as file, save as, I'm sorry, save object as, I apologize. So in this case here, we're going to go ahead and remember we're saving an object, not the actual database. So in our case over here, we're going to go ahead and call this WK5 account info report. Make sure it's spelled correctly, and then we're going to open this up, and you have all the stuff in here, and then we're going to go ahead and close here. Boom. So open week 5 account info report. Let's go ahead and close this down so we don't get things messed up. Now in here we're going to go ahead and go into week 5 account info report and select the layout view. So in this case over here in view, let's go ahead and select layout view here, and we're going to delete city, street, and postal code fields. So in this case over here, we're going to hold down, we're going to go ahead and click over here and click on city. Okay. And select layout view. Again, here's our layout view. Okay, so we're going to go do that. We're going to hold down on this, and we're going to go delete also street, state. Remember here that I'm hitting both of these on here and postal code fields. So let's move on over in here. And I'm going to go ahead and click on postal code and then this. Okay, fields. Control key. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the, press my delete key. Boom. And now I have stuff over here that looks like this here using control key. Select column and rows column group and press delete key as indicated below. So in the case here, and in this case here, you'll see here that we also have some other issues in here. See, our account paid needs to be go ahead and taken care of here. So Sorry, that was delete row. Delete column. And actually, let's go ahead and do these. So somehow or another, and you shouldn't actually get this. I don't know what happened here, but it kind of looks to me like I ran into a little problem here. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to delete this column here. That looks a little bit better. Okay. So now we have this, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to have to manually move these on over. So we want to go ahead and bring them over here. And like I said, we're going to have to do it manually or by hand and make sure that everything, you can see everything in here. Okay, and then of course you've got your account manager number. Let's go ahead and bring this down accordingly. And this box down here, I want you to make sure to take care of that. We want to make this large enough so you can actually see this. Okay, and so now you'll certainly see the way that that actually all works. So in our case here, we have this, and select it, press delete key, decay below, resizing the picture. And again, this is here. So now we want to go ahead and go to our amount paid field, and this is kind of a cool thing if you look in here. So I'm going to click on this. So I've clicked over here, amount paid. Okay, and so you see here that when I clicked on that, all of a sudden my totals box here came up. Let me go ahead and click elsewhere here real quick and show you again. So in this case here, oops. Okay, so now I don't have anything in here, but if I click over here and here, you see here that I've got this item here to go ahead and do totals. So I'm going to want to go ahead and do the same thing that we did before. So we're going to go ahead and totals for the grouping and total group. So in this case here, and it's going to end up pretty much like we had done before. So that's 14. So we're going to go ahead and there's a row over here that says page 1 of 1. So we're going to go ahead and drag this over. Oops. Drag it over here to this page. So now we've got page 1 as indicated below. We come on over here to 15. We're going to go ahead and we're going to save the report. So I'm going to click on boom over here and on this case over here. Okay, so as I said, in this case here, we've got this report and it's saved. Boom. So that's all you really have to do here. Remember to close all the objects. So now at this point here, we're going to go ahead and then close the database. So in our database here, so we're going to want to go ahead and click over here on close, and there you are. Okay. And in this case here, you will go ahead and submit. I'll submit this page. I hope this all worked for you. And again, if you have any questions, just go ahead and give me a call. Thank you so very much.